Alright, let's do this. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heokapath. I just like to have these little talks on the way I feel about things. I'm not sleeping. And now when I think about it, I'm trying to remember the last time that I did have a good night's sleep. And it's starting to become a blur. It's been many days. The cold doesn't help. I hate the cold. And we're about to go into an ice age. I better figure out. No. Compression items help a lot. Tight, like tights and socks, stuff like that. That helps the heat not escape from my body. I'm a nervous wreck. I gotta stay I gotta stay nice and toasty, so that's my chill zone. I can't get too hot either, too. I'm a hothead. I'm a mess. I'm just trying to keep it together till everybody takes their last breath, and then me included. And it's so cold. I haven't had hot water. I get bitchy when I can't take hot showers. That tracks all. That's like in my stars. It's in my DNA, my story. Like I'm supposed to. Maybe it's my Native American. The water fight. Now we're gonna go into another water fight. It's gonna be. I mean, and some people are gonna have depending on how stingy they've been in their life, they're gonna have the experience of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome and all that shit. My shit's my shit. Pirates, people that steal for all that stuff. It's the same story with different costumes, man. I'll be right back. I gotta do something quick. Yeah. Let me just try and turn this off. We'll try that. Oh God. Good Lord. God willing and the creek don't rise. What's today? The 16th of March. 9th of April. If I make it through the 8th, I'm gonna be 50. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, ooh, these lines are new. These are new. It's like I'm just observing myself age. Cause I always feel like I'm 15. That's kind of the age of, like, I guess maybe that's when I started drinking, and then that's when my brain really began to alter, is from killing it with my brain cells with alcohol. That's why I don't do it anymore, man. It rots people. That's what all this dementia, Alzheimer's, all these people, not included head injuries, pills. I mean, all these people living lives of things that they want to forget. They're living lives of shit they don't want to remember. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and people have just been acting the other way around for far too long. It's weird. I'll be right back. Oh, God. Lee! Just, when I'm cold, everything hurts more. Hey, when you're young and vigor and you're out there, jumping off this and diving off that and driving around and wrecking this and doing that. People gotta understand something, that when you get to be of a certain age, you will unfondly be reminded of every stupid thing that you did when you were a kid. Every injury that you have, if you are lucky to live long enough, your story is allowed to continue long enough, you will know and always be reminded of, and that's what I look at, like every pain and stuff like that I got is like reasons why not to do things. Don't do this thing because it'll end up hurting, and it just kills me my whole life. I seen these people freaking, make so much money and do stupid shit with it from playing children's sports. Basketball, football, soccer, all that stupid stuff. Whoo, whatever can, collect the people and go, ooh. Then, nope, not this time, buddy. Then at the end of their career, they're like all babbling, drooling, bumbling dummies because their freaking brains were knocked around inside their skull so much because it's just soft tissue and force, physics, stuff like that. They go to college, they get free rides to go to college. Maybe if they learned something in their class, they wouldn't be so duh. And these are all systems that people want me to go along with and want to, just go along with it, Marge. Just be a good sport. No, that shit's stupid. Kids learn valuable lessons from coaches. I know a bunch that didn't. People are always like, want me to 100% be on board with the shit that they're for when there's people involved with the shit that they're on board with that are freaking straight up wicked and evil, and I ain't gonna co-sign it because there's predators in every group, and until you guys figure out how to weed them all out, I'm not gonna go along with your stupid reindeer games. It's all reindeer games: politics, entertainment, reindeer games, sports, entertainment, paid programming. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. They're on pages and they call them plays, like stages on, and they dance around. I mean, the way they dance, their orchestra, I mean, it's choreography. But so many people just can't have their memories of sitting on Pappy's lap before things got hard. Trite. It's trite. So, anyway, I called today's talk Erry'1's Auntie. I got that Auntie vibe. I figured out. See, I'm coming into figuring out who I am because, I was like 40. How old was I? 43, 44 when Mom had her DNA test. I mean, my whole life, I'm like, I don't know I'm like, I thought I could be everyone's relative and then, related to everyone, but everybody looked at me like I was trash, even my own relatives. So I have a funny thing about families and tribes and groups and clubs and all that stuff. I'm real funny about it. So, I don't like them, any of them. I mean, I've been involved in large groups, organizations, things like that, because I went along with their bullshit. But as soon as I stopped going along with their bullshit, I'm urgently invited to leave. And as soon as I knew what the military was when I went in. It was a means to an end, to the means of wanting to get that piece of paper to satisfy people that says I'm good enough for you to pay me money to do something that I can halfway tolerate to make, so I can pay freaking this company and that company so their CEOs can make multi-million-dollars a year while I'm freaking killing, you know what I mean? It's such a silly, silly world that we live in. Purposefully. A great deal of it is contributing factors is because they have the powers that be have been the powers that be for freaking decades. And their minds are mush. And they don't have good ideas. And they have no skills. And it's trickled down because shit rolls downhill. And we got the most shit in Congress, Senate, all over up there. It's all crap, a bunch of freaking machismo dudes, reminiscing about the old glory days with their Zeonic, weird shit. and it's all tumbling down. And it's, I see how all this stuff is related. Like you have all these like old bureaucratic crack, because I watch a lot. Mom watches. We watched a lot of TV while we've had a lot of downtime in life. And I use it as data because somebody somewhere writes these scripts and they get their information from someplace. So I just use it as data points a lot of times. And I remember when I remember when I was first introduced to what a trophy hunter was, and that just displeased me immensely. People that go out and kill big beautiful animals for sport just because they can. Oh, I don't like those kind of people. They're not my kind of people. So there's this story of a dude that came across my radar. This guy is 80 years old, right? Not hanging out with his grandkids, watching his grandkid, doesn't have the freaking grandkid on his lap watching sports now. No, what's this guy's ambition? Because when you got that ego and you let it drive you to the point, ego easing God out, God, good orderly direction, don't be a rich scumbag, hoardy scumbag. It's not what God intended. Good orderly direction. So this douche, giant hybrid sheep. See, when people have so much money and they fucking waste it on shit like this, while the Craxus is, they all think they're God. They got so much ego that they're gonna create things and make things in such an ugly, gross way to serve them, because to these guys it's all about money and machismo mentality, all that stuff. So fucking gross. So giant hybrid sheep created in Montana. So which part of Montana am I supposed to like? I always like the land. The people, they make the land dirty with their saturated energy. So that's why I don't like going to a lot of places, because the places just don't feel good to me. They feel icky to me because of the fucking nasty, seedy, gross shit people there do. The initiate. Where's my pen? Initiates. Gang initiates. I want to talk about that later. Giant hybrid sheep created on Montana ranch could bring prison time for 80-year-old breeder. An 80-year-old Montana rancher pleaded guilty in federal court Tuesday for creating a giant hybrid sheep he and his 5 co-conspirators would sell to hunting preserves for exorbitant. Why aren't more people going after hunting preserves? Because they don't know that they exist. Because when your dad and uncle and brother and husbands say, I'm going to go off on this work vacation, they don't disclose that they're going off to freaking, drink whiskey and fucking shoot clone sheep. Arthur Jack Schuberath admitted to conspiring the larceny act and submitting. They all, you know what? He must have pissed somebody off, because that's the only time they get in trouble, is when they make somebody mad. When they dishonor the brotherhood, the fraternal brotherhood of horse shit. Far as I can tell, the whole lot of them, every one of them that's ever done any degree to any oath to do anything gross, MLN the a lot of ya. Initiates. That's what I was thinking about. And this stuff is so in my face too, and it just sometimes it takes me, when the student is ready, the teacher is there, and then I just got to the Cat Talk platform recently. I'm late to the show. I put that off for ever. I remember when it came out, and I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. I remember going, nope, it's a Chinese app. They'll spy, and I fell right along into it. And then I was just like, Marge, you were in the Air Force. You were at Offutt Air Force Base, where the mission was the Earth 135 RCs, where they flew around and listened to people's conversations all day long. And they call it exercises. And that's when cell phones really first started coming out. That's what they were doing. And then, because after the Patriot Act, it's no holds barred. They can listen to everybody's conversations because it's for our own safety. It's so funny. And then I was just like, dude, we are, and then that piled on top of freaking, baby bitch Bush with this little pile of wooden blocks. First there was two, then there was none, and then there was one. That's a Zach Hubbardism. He's gonna be a dad. Anybody can have kids these days. I mean, anytime. That's just hilarious to me. The lessons learned there are gonna be, I think it'll be good. We'll see. I'll dip back in to see how that goes. I think the kid's gonna be a Sagittarius. That's even funnier because he's a Cancer. It's not gonna be all about him anymore. Or her. I love that stuff. People think they have kids play dress up. It's so cute. Anyway, so I'm late to cat talk, because that's what I mostly like about it, is all the animal videos and stuff. Like, it just makes my heart happy. Is I like engaging with people too that are going through a hard time. A lot of people going through a hard time, giving my little Margisms and stuff like that. So I came across this one came across my radar, about this cop who got terribly offended because, see, when you're in the brotherhood, when you're in a club, one thing that people like to do is they like to do like things. They like to have, buy like cars, wear like shoes, red shoes, get tattoos, sometimes in numerically sequence to show it's like, I'm one of this many groups. I got blocks like that. I got coins like that. I know what I speak. I just at one point decided I don't want to be a part of those clubs and those groups. But I got the stuff as evidence and receipts. And so this guy's talking about, and so the judges, or the guys, I think it's the judge, he wasn't wearing a robe. He was asking the guy, how is you having these number of tattoos any different than the people that you arrest all the time? Because they got, cops got the fraternal brotherhood of freaking horse crap. They got their clubs, their allegiances, their own agendas of who they don't like. Firemen too. All the groups of all the groups of all the people that are doing the protecting and serving. They're picking and choosing. And so I was thinking about how they're gang. They're all gangs. They're just on different sides of the badges. Fraternity, that's a gang. Corporation, that's a gang. Government, that's another gang. They're all gangs. And then I remember growing up, like, where I grew up, and being around the people I was around, and the influences that I had, and I was like, well, every gang I ever heard of, including Hell's Angels, even though people glorify them, that is so weird to me. The shit that people glorify and build up over good orderly direction. And these people, in order to be a part of these games, you gotta kill somebody to be initiated. In a lot of these gangs, so many gangs, you gotta kill somebody to be initiated. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, all these people that end up like bones in a shallow grave in the desert, members of snuff films, stuff like that. That's what that guy on the East Coast, he was a cleaner for a lot of those cops, the lawyer, The bro club, man. When people have no self-control and they just go around, the stuff that they go use with their free will to do is just monstrous. When their souls and spirits have been devoured by the spirits of drugs and alcohol and influence of power, money, property, prestige, all that shit. So don't be an initiate. Don't be somebody else's entrance into. So be smart. It's a different world. It's not I'm if you're going to go off and do something, if you don't got somebody that you can't tell, I don't. I just go, "Okay, see you later, mom. Hope I make it back home." Yeah, the world's ugly and gross and people don't like me very much out there. So, anyway, I was thinking today because all this stuff is coming up about the clips, path of totality, stuff like that. I'm done with the clips, all that stuff. I think about all the people that put all their energy to go into this little stripe that goes across the United States, Are they going to be so apt to go? Actually, you know what they're going to see? They're going to see a lot of rural community. I just thought about that because there is a storm, a series of storms that just came down across the United States. A lot of people are impacted. Many weren't. Many are tasting spring, so they're just like, spring's in the air, but communities were devastated within miles from them and stuff like that. Like, it's so weird. But, so a lot of people won't be traveling to a lot of the rural communities where they were gonna. And if people that really could, okay, let me explain. People are so freaking tripped out about like all these National Guard people everywhere. First of all, who enlists in the National Guard and why do people enlist in the National Guard? My brother's been in the Army Guard since the 1980s. He doesn't like getting his hands dirty. He's an Army JAG. Actually, he's a lawyer for the military and also a lawyer for the state of California. He's all lawyered up. That's how I know lawyers suck. Personal experience. Self-important. Oh, all that lawyer stuff. Oh my gosh. Every time I think someone's going to be a lawyer and they're going to do something different, they like get sucked into that lawyerdom. I like that Sheila chick though on Cat Talk. She's in Florida though. I don't like Florida. She's cool. Anyway, so think about, so you got the soft hands, the people with the soft touch. People don't like working hard, but they'll do enough to get by on a weekend, maybe a couple weeks out of the year, but they'll get a pay, it's a good deal, right? But these people have no experience on crowd control. They don't touch dishes. You think what are they going to do with a gun? You know what I mean? So, like, when people get all tripped out about this shit, like, oh, God, they're giving them practice. They got to learn how to control the crowd. So, they're giving them practice. That's all it is you got a bunch of freaking guards people. Look at them, dude. Look at the people in the pictures that are going through the bags. If it came down to it, could they overpower you? Are people just not thinking? Or are they just so controlled by, you gotta be subservient to this person because they're wearing a fucking uniform? I don't respect people that don't do respectable things, and these systems are run by people that haven't done respectable things. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have the opportunity to turn it around, but first, things need to be acknowledged, and amends need to be made. I like seeing that some tribes are getting some land back and shit like that. It's just like a little taste. It's just crumbs, see? It's just crumbs. There's plenty more. There's enough for everybody. So for anybody to be divvying out fucking land in this United States, that's stupid. So the National Guard, crowd control practice. So don't panic, people. Just learn how to take care of yourself. Maybe you weren't born in the 80s, like you weren't a Gen Xer, so you weren't raised on movies like freaking Red Dawn that plant seeds like, oh my God, this stuff could happen, but never, never thought it would happen against your own country. But I always did because I watched Rambo, and then I went into the Air Force, and now I can identify a little too much with Rambo. so much the Auntie Marge could kind of be Marge bow on some days. So I got to remember to be soft and use my soft voice and to smile so people don't think I'm so scary. Because fearful people will reflect places externally, any places outside that they can, that will scare them. And then you are the scary thing. You know, I learned that from a guy I know that, like, he had an encounter. He liked a girl and she was much younger than him, and he wasn't just like leaving her alone. And so, which is what he should have, you know, just like, you know, acknowledge people, but just, you know, leave them alone. I've learned that, learn how to do that. I'm not, yeah, leave them alone. And so just don't bother people, right? And so, but that wasn't that time. Another time something happened, and like the sheriff, and he was like, but he wasn't being a creeper that time, but he was a creeper. This guy, we're not friends no more. Uh, but we were friends when we were kids, and when police try to put other people's fear on, you know, like you did this to them and it scared, well, you know, and it scared them, and I'm like, well, I have no intention of scaring anybody. If they are scared because of something I did over in my place that is not unlawful or causing harm to myself or anyone else, seems to me that they're just a fearful person. See, and that's what all these security systems are put in place for. They don't protect people for things and keep crime from happening and stuff like that. No, they're basically, at this point, law enforcement is there to clean up the mess after whatever engagement's over. It doesn't, you know, maybe keep it from escalating, but they don't stop crime. As a matter of fact, the United States crime is more than I ever recall in any time I've been alive. That's the only time I can really speak on from my memory, and but maybe it's always been there, but it hasn't been on the internet so predominantly, you know, because now that I think about it, people that I grew up around, the same things that happened to me, there's just always been crime. And so maybe it's always been there, but people have benefited so much from it that they didn't want to, that they were willing to tolerate the crime and all the grossness and wickedness that comes with it. Now I think people, it's realizing, you know, you come to the point one day that you're gonna have to, just based on energy, you know, you reap what you sow. Once, and these seeds are being planted everywhere, all over social media. You know, what you reap, you sow. And people are like, oh, they're starting to see how it's true, like I did when I was so many years ago. And that's why I stopped doing, you know, you can't be spiteful, you can't be malicious, you got to turn the other cheek, you know. The only time that I can engage physically with anybody, you know, in an altercation or in hug is with permission, you know, and they give me permission to, you know, if it's a negative encounter, by taking a swing on me, you know. And so I've learned that in my life. I have my own, I go by nature's law. I always have. The laws that man have tried to impose upon me have never been applicable to me. So I always thought it was bullshit. And that's why they don't like me. Because I call bullshit bullshit. You're making people do stupid dance, puppet dance, because I can. And they hate when I say shit like that. They fucking hate it. Because it's true. And they try to put me in my place. It was weird this morning. I think that the veil is so thin. And there's all these energetic frequencies that I'm freaking and it's so cold at night, and I can't get up and take a hot shower. I walked out this morning, walked Artie pants, about 6 a.m. God bless you, baby. He's sitting over there all sweet on the pillow, and Tucker back there. I had a nightmare. Tucker got his head back. It was terrible. I'm ready for some grace. I walked out this morning and I look up and I see the start, because I'm like, is it like, I feel precipitation on me, but I couldn't see anything because it was dark. And it was, in fact, because as soon as I go out, with all the cats come running in because they want their morning snacks, you know, because the people that where they come from, the people that are supposed to support them and take care of them are slackers. But I am consistent. And I'm like, it's snowing. And I look up and I take a picture of the sky. There's like sparse clouds here and there, but it was snowing. I'm like, dude, the Marge Strix is breaking through. The Matrix, the Marge Strix. You know, things are, not. And the other morning I woke up, I looked at the weather because it was supposed to get like 1 to 3 inches. And so I was trying to determine how much time I had longer in the nice, cold, warm bed before I had to get up and shovel, look outside to see it. So I looked and it said snowing, and it'll be snowing for like the next 44 minutes. And then I walk outside and there's no clouds and there's all the stars and more bullshit. So people gotta, and it's even, I get it's gonna be hard to believe what you see with your own eyes. I've been there. I can relate. I understand that. I get that. Use discernment, man. Whatever it is in life, whatever you face every day, do not go against your own beliefs. Some of the greatest mistakes I've ever made was because I willingly and openly knew that said individual did not have my best interest in mind with our encounter. But I didn't care. I was willing to do it anyway. It's cool. So I gotta take responsibility in that. When I let people shit on me, I gotta take responsibility for that. Usually I'll let people freaking screw me over. I'll let people screw me because sometimes there's bad placements. Once, sometimes twice. Because, maybe it was just, maybe they didn't mean to, and maybe they see how bad it hurt my feelings, and they don't want to do that anymore. So let's see if they'll do it again. But they do it a second at a time. Fuck me if I'm going to be a third time fool. Nobody's that cute on planet Earth. Nobody feels that good. Nobody. That's because, however I interpret anybody out there, however good somebody feels or however they're it's my perception of them. So I'm not going to ever make anybody so pretty or so freaking, such a vibrational frequency match. I'm going to tolerate some horse shit ever for some crumbs no more. I got mom's nice smile and I'm going to waste it on shit like that. So, anyway. So we're all the people that are racing to the path of totality. Maybe they'll all come join in and help people rebuild their houses that recently lost theirs. Maybe they'll do that. Or maybe they're just going to keep coming and watching and seeing, oh God, that's so awful for them. And people that think that shit that can never happen to them, you guys are the ones that stuff is really going to start happening to. Look at all these communities, never been untouched, generations of just stolen land. Living that best life decade after decade with taking all your abundance and keeping it to yourself. And, while the cracks of society only get wider, and now here we're at a place, it's going to become more hardships for more people. I have faith in higher power. This is a picture I took when I went to the island of Crete for Operation Iraqi bullshit. This is in a cave, one of those Tartaria buildings. Went on a nice 1.5 mile walk down to the sea, the Mediterranean Sea. That I forever lifted maps on, and now I'm in it, and it feels like a bathtub. So Truman Show. So, see the thing how you doing, sweetie? You okay? Okay, come around this way. Oh, shoot. I just kicked my coffee because I didn't put it back in the spot. Come on through this way. And of course I got it on the carpet. Go ahead. You alright? How you doing? I love you too, sweetie. Come around this way. That way. Yep. There you go. Did you wake up because you just had to pee? Were you cold? You're cold? You stiffed? Well, I'm doing a talk if you want. Listen to me finish my talk and then I'll turn on the TV. I know, it's getting so freaking long. Hey, Mom. Go ahead and, good job. Oh, butt scuff. Butt scuff. We fixed your blanket. I just washed it yesterday, your chair blanket. I'll turn this heater back on because this place leaks. Next place we live, Ma, is going to have a wood stove. Wood stove? Yeah. That's a good idea. Please. Freaking universe. We never had a wood stove. I've wanted a wood stove my whole life. No. I see it right there. I know. Let's go put you in the chair. Let me turn on the heater. You're alright. What are you pushing me for? You're so fast. Will you cool your jets, old lady? Turbo? Moving on. Sit right here. Yeah. Alright, it's okay. Right there. Let me turn on this heat. Point it at you. Everybody needs to get their own little old lady. See, that's what's good for these autistic folks, you know, that don't like dealing with society, but they bond, you know. They bond with people. Take them down to find people need to bond with people. They just don't know. They haven't found their frequency yet, you know. People are drawn to people by frequency, common interests, likes, storylines. That's how they know how people think, is by determining what people watch. You know, the Nielsen ratings. And the people that like horror movies and stuff like that, boy, ain't the world designed for them right now. You know, or the people that like the war movies, the Hometown Pride. I'm one of those that I think, oh shit, I think that I know what I know, and I believe the things that I believe in, and I always have, and then I see things in the world that verify what I know. And I came across this thing, because I have never been big on holidays. I don't like them. They're commercial. They're not sentimental. They're freaking, a lot of times people use them to emotionally hijack people. I mean, look at all the parents out there. It's like, if you're good, Santa's not going to come. It's all a manipulation. It's stupid. All that stuff. There's no place for that stuff in my world. And, not too long ago, this is just a frequency. I don't know who came up with it. People have declared all over the place that, you know, like their boyfriend made it up, or, you know, or whatever. When I saw it, it was like the person came up with it, but it's just data that's out there that people, like, there's, in the real calendar has 13 months and 28 days. Like, people know it. They just haven't been presented with the information that supports what they already know. And it was holidays are for the manipulators to get you to worship what they worship. Has nothing to do with what you believe in. Nothing. It's manipulation. It's emotional hijacking. And they're like, ha, suckers. Because money is energy. And when people put their hard-earned energy into shit to perpetuate this shit. This is from what page is this? Reddit.com. Fan theory. Just wondering if anyone else had this idea before, and which holidays you think represents the sins. My boyfriend and I came up with this. Hi, pretty girl. I'm almost done. Valentine's Day for lust, for obvious reasons. Thanksgiving for gluttony, overconsumption, and excess. And they line them up with the time of day that it's like, okay, this is the potential of the energy. People have free will. They can be a glutton or they can not. But, you know, they feed the ego. Easing God out. God, good orderly direction, is discipline. I'm almost done. Christmas, greed, always wanting more gifts and never being satisfied. Independence Day, pride, once again for obvious reasons. Easter, envy, to quote my BF, the Romans were jealous of Jesus, so they murdered him. The Zions, Romans, all-ins, all of the abovians. The fraternal brotherhood of horse shit. St. Patrick's Day, sloth, getting blackout drunk. Halloween, wrath, scaring people for fun. So, you know, whenever people are like, especially the spiritualists, are like, you know, love and light. I'm taking 2 weeks off to spend Christmas with my family. I'm just like, you're just more of the same. You're all fucking frauds and fakes, and I'm looking for the real deal. So if you're the real deal and you recognize the real deal in me, email me, straightpeoplelike rainbows2 gmail.com. Maybe we'll figure some shit out. That's about